Welcome to Reds in the Hood, the YouTube channel for legacy Man United fans. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because inside I'm kind of crying. Manchester United, what is happening to us? And Erik Ten Hag, not backed at all. I can't think of any other new United manager except perhaps David Moyes, who wasn't backed in some way in his first season. I mean, with some major signings. Go all the way back to Dave Sexton. You know, Big Ron Atkinson was signing like Brian Robson within a couple of weeks of signing up for United. You know, Fergie had big signings. Everybody had big signings except for Erik Ten Hag. And the reason for that is we've got no money. At last, all those sleepy Dave down the pub type United fans going, oh, well, you know, they don't need to spend all that money. And no, the Glazers are letting Fergie get on with it. You know, that's why we're winning stuff. We told you in 2005 this was going to happen. We told you when Ronaldo went. We told you when Tevez went. Where are the replacements? Antonio Valencia isn't a replacement. Bebe, who didn't even cost 7 million, cost 250 grand, isn't a replacement. Michael Owen, yeah, free transfer. You know, obviously he got some money for Robin van Persie, and playing Route 1, we won our last league championship. When is that going to happen again? We don't know. We've needed a central midfielder since the time of Louis van Gaal. If you want an example of how desperately we needed one then, Louis van Gaal was even playing Angel Di Maria in centre midfield. And Van Gaal, let's face it, he spent a fair bit of money, but it was all for sideways passing. Great possession stats, awful to watch. Then Mourinho comes in to park the bus, buys awful players to just stand there, big physical lumps, to stand there in front of the opposition. There's no football being played. Ollie then inherits that team. He buys Maguire, he buys Wan-Bissaka, does manage to get us into third and second in the league, gets us into a semi-final, gets a few semi-finals, gets us into the final, but it's all going downhill. The money that we're spending at the moment at United has to be spent to actually make sure we've got 11 players that can go out there and play every week. Now, we've lost the first 2 games of this season. I predict quite easily that we're going to lose a third against Liverpool on Monday. Anyway, we're going to be chatting about that and more things. This is my young lad, James. He's on the button with it all. He even goes on FIFA and scouts players. A better scout than Man United, really. Are you relieved that we're not buying Rabiot?
I mean, that's not over yet. I think we are still going to buy him, but I hope not. I mean, that'd be like, it's like that thing where just adding like oil almost like to like a already like
a big bucket of grease to an already slippery slope.
Exactly. It's just honestly like the dressing room leaks again. Like I thought in that Richard Arnold, like when he met with him at the pub. And by the way, they were complimenting that technical director for going to the pub to meet fans. He was like, yes. Oh, the money's all there.
Otherwise, they'd be outside his house.
Yeah, well, they were complimenting him. And apparently, I mean, it was them lot who went to the pub as well. They made up that they had video evidence that said Pogba and Lingard are the leaks in the dressing room. Well, they're clearly not. The leaks are still coming out about United. You know, they're even saying Ronaldo's eating lunch on his own. Like, what is going on with this football club? Ronaldo eating his bacon butty on his own.
He won't be eating a bacon butty, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo eating his like Caesar salad or whatever he's
his
eating.
Avocado on toast. His quinoa, chia seed.
Avocado's actually got more calories in than a chocolate bar, so might not be eating that. But but the leak's still coming out. I mean, I don't think Ronaldo eating lunch on his own is the reason why the players are performing so badly.
I think it's a mixture of things. I still think there is some truth in the fact.
Not that in particular.
No, but I think there is some truth that Ronaldo has upset some kind of dynamic in the dressing room. But I also think the players are disengaged and demoralised because they know what that team has needed for a while, which is another quality central midfielder. They've watched Pogba go, they've watched Matic go, they've watched Mata go. There's no replacements coming in. Lingard looked great, didn't he, for Forest the other day?
Dean Henderson as well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, so you have to think, have we kept the wrong players and let the wrong ones go? And what has upset them so much? And, you know, they've got to look around. These are, let's face it, they've got to be ambitious players.
Yeah.
Okay, you say they're not turning in, they're not putting the performances in, but we haven't been allowed to build a team that is capable of winning the league. Not since Fergie's retired. We've not been allowed to do that. You look back at the days, when the Glazers took over, 2005, sold Ronaldo for 80 million. We're linked with every player City bought. David Silva, 23 million. Sergio Aguero, 37 million. We were linked with all these players.
Well, I remember
Why didn't we buy any of them?
That's literally what Rooney said. I think it was the Ozil thing that tipped Rooney over the edge. Rooney handed in the transfer request like 2010.
Yeah.
Like maybe I think it was after Ronaldo left, and the club was showing no ambition.
And Tevez had gone as well.
And everyone needs to open the right. Yes, Tevez had gone. Like Ronaldo had gone. I mean. And then it's just Rooney. Like we didn't buy anyone. Like Rooney again. Like fair play to him, just putting us on his back. Like through them. The fact we were still winning titles and getting to the Champions League finals and stuff.
It's down to him.
Exactly. It's just, and the fans were like, I understand them booing him because he wanted to leave the club and stuff. But again, it's like if the club's showing no ambition, he's helping us out. It's almost like show some ambition, otherwise I'm leaving. And he had every right to now. And finally, people are opening their eyes. The thing is with Ollie as well. Ollie. It was just so obvious. Like we needed a right winger. Okay, we finally got Jadon Sancho. Perfect. But there's still that holding midfield role. I don't care about any other things. It was that McTominay and Fred combination because we didn't have a holding midfielder except for Matic, but he couldn't play over 60 minutes, Matic. But if there's a hole in the ship, it's going to sink. It doesn't matter how fast it sinks. 1 hole, 2 holes, it's still going to sink.
Well, it was obvious to everybody. And then you had all this nonsense because they got Ronaldo back, they bought Sancho, they had Varane. Well, no, he's got no excuses if he doesn't win the league. And you're going, with that midfield. Yes. That midfield has been an issue for years.
Yeah, I know.
And even Fergie, if it wasn't for Scholes coming out of retirement, where was his money to go and buy a like-for-like replacement? It just wasn't there. We have been getting run as a club that will hopefully squeeze into the top 4 just to be an automatic cash machine for the Glazers for years. And now it's running out. They've got to sell. And when I listen to people like, can you use this sort of language on YouTube? That see you next Tuesday, Jamie Redknapp. Now, Jamie Redknapp, if he was anywhere as good a footballer as he thought he was, he'd have been the new Xavi. When the reality was, he was just slightly better than Danny Murphy. Maybe not as ugly in a dark nightclub. But let's be honest. The Glazers have spent over £1 billion. It's not their money. It's Man United fans' money. The Glazers haven't got any money. Do you get that? It drives me mad. People like Jamie Redknapp. Do you know what I mean? Shut up about United. You don't know what's going on. Half the United fans as well, they're doing it the same, going, oh, well, we don't want to be spending that amount on wages. Do you know what? It's my money as a United fan.
Yeah,
it's not the Glazers' money, so I don't care what wages they give to a player. I don't care how much they spend on players either, because that is what I am paying to go in and watch. When, somebody buys a United shirt, that's what they're paying for. They're not paying so that the Glazers can take all the money out and you can say, well, it's good housekeeping that. I'm not bothered. I just say we should be having the best players in the world. We're one of the 3 biggest clubs in the world, if not arguably, just in terms of sheer fan base, the biggest club in the world. They are destroying us. They've been destroying us for 17 years. And they keep bringing in managers to just kind of prop us up. Jose Mourinho, for Christ's sake, the worst manager Manchester United have had in their history. The idea that a United team that cost a fortune, and he spent more money than any other manager on what was already quite a big squad, to park the bus. I still feel disgust and nothing else for that man inside. And that, him and the Glazers both needed to get to, what. Describing Pogba as a virus, crazy. The only virus I could ever see at United was Jose Mourinho. In fact, the virus I can see in world football terms is Jose Mourinho because of the joyless, horrible crap every single one of his teams that I've ever watched has played. I can't think of one good, entertaining game a Jose Mourinho side has been involved in. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Now, we lost to Brentford. What could be more embarrassing? And the Brentford fans have got, they've got a bit of...
We got hammered by Brentford, we didn't lose, we got hammered.
Well, I know again, but so what? Look, I actually sent a tweet out, didn't I, saying, that Brentford about to play in their third cup final in a year, because obviously they were so gutted last year when the first match against United, because this is what they've dreamt of. You go to the Premier League, what's the team you want to see? United. That's what all the Brentford fans have been waiting for, just like everyone else. And they were getting quite nasty, weren't they, on Twitter?
Yeah, I feel like you're a jinx. You might have sent us down, but yeah, I'll read some out and you can reply to them.
Right. Well, I thought it was interesting. This one, Patrick Walsh, Irish descent. Patrick Walsh. Walsh actually means Welsh, mate. Hi, mate. Hope you enjoyed Brentford bending Man United over on Saturday. Ooh, sexual. And giving a good going over. You are welcome to visit next season. Oh, sorry, you'll probably be in the Championship. No, mate, that will be your lot. Hey, to give you the sexual innuendo yourself, one swallow does not a summer make. Although it made your afternoon. Go on.
Yeah, so here's just a couple of ones that I've seen. So, just like your manager, you've got no dignity, mate. How about a well done or a well played? I'll be waiting.
Oh, Brentford. Well done, well played. You won your cup final. Now get off and get back down to that division where you'll be playing Scunthorpe United again. Because my thing about Brentford is nothing against the football you play or your 9,000 fans and the little kids in the crowd and the half and half scarves. My thing is, you've come up to the Premier League to stink it out every year. Because every season, what you're basically going to be doing, you might get the odd scout like United. I mean, Burnley did the double over us, didn't they? One season.
Brentford do play decent football.
I'm not bothered about whether they play decent football or not. You're missing my point. My point is, you've got only about 9,000 fans. You just come up to try and struggle, cling on by your fingernails, fighting relegation every August to stink the Premier League out. Come up with some ambition, be a team with a real history that we care about. That's all I'm saying. Listen, young James here, he doesn't mind. He quite likes the idea of, playing some small team from the coast. Oh no, they're not on the coast, are they? They're in that no-mark bit of London. They're in sort of Isleworth, where it's not really London. It's they're known for nylons, Brentford nylons. That's what you're known for. Brentford nylons. You're playing against Manchester United, known for being the biggest team in Britain, biggest team in Europe, biggest team in the world. From Manchester, where we split the atom, where Rolls met Royce. Anyway, go on. Right, Brentford nylons.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's not true in this case, but you appear to have gone a bit quiet, mate. Best climb into that little box that you occasionally crawl out of and keep yourself completely. Right, this person doesn't know English.
Keep yourself.
Right, that tweet doesn't make sense. That's
okay. Yeah, that's good.
That guy. Right. So
yeah.
Truth is, Terry, I think United fans would die to be what little Brentford extol in the Premier League: humility, unity, direction, hard graft, and finally a coaching team who take players from lower divisions and turn them into giants. We might not ever win anything, but do we care?
Well, obviously you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be tweeting me, would you? Hey, small town, small time, but that's okay. And I think you enjoy your couple of seasons in the sun, and then you get back to playing Bournemouth again, but in the lower leagues.
Yeah, there is one Brentford fan actually I want to say well done to him. It's Greg Com43, and he actually bet a fiver that Brentford would win 4-0 at 90-1.
Did he?
Yeah, there you go.
Top man. But you see, like all gamblers, they only ever let you know about the winnings, don't they? Not the ones he's lost.
He's not gonna. I wouldn't repeat that bet. I don't think you'll beat us 4-0 again.
Hey, listen, I'm getting my bet for 4-0 to United against Liverpool on Monday. What are the odds on that?
I don't know, but yeah, reply to the next tweet with the lottery numbers. That'll be good. Anyway, so he put Adam Kenningale put looks like the return fixture will be United's cup final.
I don't think so, not against Brentford.
And then Davey Gravy has replied to that tweet and put, and should they win it, Twitter will be awash with the achievements, apparently.
Awash with the achievements of beating Brentford. Look, United have beat everyone and won everything. But, I think it's great that Brentford have come up for the first time since, just before World War II. Great to have you around. And maybe if QPR, well, you'll be able to play them next season, won't you, in a proper rivalry game in the Championship. So anyway, so that's exciting. It's good to always hear from the teams of the smaller fans, or the small fans of the smaller teams. Even teams of the smaller fans is probably right, really. But anyway, so yes, United next. We're playing Liverpool now. Liverpool back in the day when they were successful, and I mean, look at them now. I mean, it's like they've got this fantastic team. They've won the league. Once. Although they have won the coming second with the most points trophy a couple of times, haven't they?
I've seen that. I saw that combined 11 that they did on Sky Sports. They had more current Liverpool players than they did United players from the whole era. I mean, they had Salah over Ronaldo. I mean, it's just Liverpool sports news, isn't it?
But even in the 70s, the media has always loved Liverpool. It was almost as if they felt sorry for it because, it was the first place of mass unemployment, and then you had all the great drama series come out of it, like Boys and the Black Stuff and all that in the 80s. And it was almost like, yes, they're poor in the Northern, but they're good at football. And so that's what it was. So you had this sort of weird sympathy for Liverpool. And yet they weren't a flair team in the 70s and 80s. They weren't a team that you would go to watch and they were going to really play well. Like, they would grind results out with back passes to the goalie and all the rest. And probably the Klopp era, and when they won the double, when Dalglish was manager, with John Barnes and Beardsley, those are the two teams that have actually played good football. But in all that great Liverpool sides of the 60s, 70s, 80s, they never had a player that won the Ballon d'Or, that won the European Football of the Year.
Didn't they, I suppose?
Well, was that not when he was at Real Madrid?
No, I think it was when he was at Liverpool, 2001.
Okay.
I think it was after they won the treble that is pretty much the same as Mourinho, isn't it? Like,
like his double.
I think it was
the 5-4 and all that.
I think it was UEFA Cup, League Cup, and
FA
Cup.
So again, but it's like they never had a player in their glory era when they were winning leagues that actually won the European Footballer of the Year. We had Best, we had Charlton, we had Dennis Law, then Ronaldo later on. I mean, Rooney was very unlucky not to win it.
Yeah, Rooney would have won one, I think, barring injuries. I think as well, Rooney wasn't helped by the Ronaldo Messi dominance, really. I mean, now it's like, obviously it's faded now, so it's a bit easier, but Rooney, like, from the start of Rooney's career to the end of it, I mean, God.
Immense, really. And again, someone who was targeted by United fans because suddenly he's surrounded by players who aren't that great. And if he's having a game where he's struggling a bit, they're blaming him, and you're going, go and blame the guy. Go and blame Tom Cleverley.
I'd take him in midfield now over McTominay. To be fair, I think that is the one. I mean, Mourinho, I dislike him anyway. No, to be fair, I disliked him at United. I never wanted him at United. Even when we finished second. I don't care about winning Europa League, whatever.
It was awful to watch.
Yeah, I wanted him gone that season. I knew he was going to be gone by Christmas. But the one thing it's just completely unforgivable to even other clubs where I just have some inner hatred. And I respect him. He's done well for himself. But Scott McTominay is an awful footballer. Like, he doesn't belong in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, he's being played. He's been being played out of position.
Is he though?
I think he is. That's not. You can see.
Under Erik ten Hag though, in the last couple of games, he's been played in that more advanced role, and because he's not very good on the ball, that's why he's had to drop Eriksen back. I mean,
he seems, rather than be able to fire a forward pass, he seems to enjoy carrying the ball, and of course, he's just going to get pressed and hacked down on. Then when he loses the ball, he fouls somebody. He gives away so many unnecessary free kicks for me. I mean, maybe just needs time out. But I don't think he's a first choice. And for any of these young players, when you're playing in a struggling side, they just look demoralised and disengaged. And it doesn't help when people like Jamie Redknapp come in, talking about wages and it costs billions, and now they're trying to blame Ronaldo. They want to blame everybody at United. It's the Glazers. Get the Parasites out.
Yeah, I mean,
stop going to the matches. Don't buy a season ticket. I stopped buying my season ticket 2005-2006 season because of those gimps.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, really. I mean, to be fair though, anyway, continuing with Scott McTominay, just in general, like, my main issue is just the ability to actually control and pass a football. I saw a tweet which I thought was perfect, which I agreed with. And obviously there's other players at United that aren't great, but it was he's from Abdullah, he's on other fun channels, but he tweeted and said, I think you could give the ball to Scott McTominay, give him a whole half of the pitch, and he'd still make it a 50-50 duel. Because he's You know that.
Well, no. Having said that, when Leeds didn't have a midfield and Scott McTominay could just run through them, he looked like Brian Robson.
Well, the odd game though. I mean, he's got into United's academy for a reason. Obviously, you know what I mean. He's got some ability.
But he was a number 10, and he was a number 10 striker, wasn't he, in the academy?
Honestly, no. I don't want to see him there. Honestly, God. I mean, to be fair, Bruno Fernandes isn't really pulling up any trees.
I know, and now talking about selling James Garner.
I know, it's just the most United thing to do ever is, I mean, Dean Henderson, like, he's more Glazers out than anyone. Dean Henderson literally said, even if I play really well, I'm still going to be on the bench. So that's why I had to go to Forest before even meeting Ten Hag. And it's obvious now why. Unbelievable for Nottingham Forest. I've always been a fan of Dean Henderson. I like his attitude as well. I like how he, if you think Dean Henderson truly believes that he's the best player in the world, and I think it's brilliant. But God, I mean, he doesn't. De Gea just doesn't really fit. I mean, De Gea is a United. He's a very good United player, De Gea. Like in the past, but I think he's just kind of needs to be moved on.
Okay, quickly, Liverpool score prediction.
Oh, score prediction against Liverpool.
Yeah.
It could be double figures, but I'll be very conservative and hope that we have our best game yet, and I'll go with 3-0 to Liverpool.
Right, I'm going to say we have our best game yet, 1-1.
1-1.
There you go, 1-1.
Oh.
Pushing the boat out there. You've got to believe, then the universe will reward you. Don't forget, Reds in the Hood. It's going to be various different people, not always me and young James. He's got to go back to do maths at university soon. Yeah. Don't forget, click like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. Even you Brentford fans, don't forget, I'll see you down there. Have that Wicker Man ready.